All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So my apologies, I did not put the note that I sent this morning earlier. I was gone for the weekend. I'm a little behind on replies. I am so sorry. Work's just been a little hectic, and the wife and I took a little trip. So I will get back to everyone. Probably not today. I'm a little on the tired side, but happy to do this. I'm excited to get back to it, right? So want to talk about MULN. I want to talk about Marathon. There are lucid earnings happening I don't think it's happened yet. I'm seeing a little bit of a sell-off, but I'm not sure if that's the actual reaction or what is what. But I'm excited to see what lucid looks like once I get to that, because I'm hoping by then we'll see some stuff play out. But today's a big day, and I thought more was going to happen on this day. You can argue that it kind of did, but when I say more, I'm here for sustained uptrends, right? So didn't quite do it over here, and lack of confirmation really is going to be the big story over this uptrend, right? So I know we've gone from 3 to 6, but it's just, you can see it. There's little confirmation, right? Marathon. Look, I talked about Bitcoin actually moments ago, if I'm not mistaken, right here. So 66K is the money line. And if we can break that, we're going to go for 70. So that's essentially what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. That's what's driving Marathon, because we've had a good bounce on that 100 moving average, which again, I don't think I said, but I taught, yeah, right here, the 100 moving average bounce point. I am going to cover Bitcoin and the others soon. I've been saying that. Like I said, I'm just a little bit behind on life. All right. So, and then, like I said, Lucid, all about earnings right now. So we'll see how that reaction goes. But before we go any further, though, and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. Wow, they're only up here, but there are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree with anything. Look, whatever you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, giving me your thoughts, I am so grateful for it. All right, so let's get into MULN. And really, before I talk about today's big day and my thoughts about tomorrow, I want to kind of come back to this. What was it, Monday? Yeah, Monday the 29th. First off, and I called myself out on the Discord, I'm going to do that. Sorry. Nope, not that one. Oh, I'm going to talk about this. Who saw that 1 minute on MULN? We'll talk about that. Look, I thought we were going to do more right here. I did. And I started the video with it, right? We broke the 50 MA on the 29th for the first time since all the way back here, right? So after multiple reverse splits, like the fact that we got over it, I liked it. I did. And really, more than the technicals here, I love the news that we got on the 29th, right? So I loved, and I'm using rough numbers because, again, I'm more about the technicals than the news, right? But they were basically selling a car for under 70, right? I think it was between 63 and 68. I can't really remember, and I kind of remember the little curvy thing, so I think it's one of those two numbers. But basically, let's just even say 68. They're basically selling a car for 68 that comes with almost 45K of rebates. So the EV market has gotten very loud. So many brands are doing their own EVs. A lot of brands, I mean, not even a lot, Toyota has been very loud about saying, screw EV, I'm going to go ahead and make hydrogen. That's what we're focusing on, right? So people are already looking beyond EV because it's that much, congested, right? Hyundai and Honda, two rivals, are actually working together to try to beat the EV market, right? So, for MULN to offer a car with after rebates being what, less than $20,000, that's amazing, right? And I really love that. I very much did, and I think that's what I assumed would be sustainable. Now, what is happening, okay, is we're starting to bounce on the 8 like a champion, right? We've literally done a good bounce twice at this point. And I mean, just look, I can keep zooming, right? But what was this incredible inability to go above it is quickly becoming this bounce on up like a champion as we break these moving averages. And it's hard to ignore. Now, the one thing I don't like, because again, I'm going to come down here, right? I love the RSI. I like the MACD. It's finally pot. Like, there are some good things down here, but the last real thing up here is there hasn't been confirmation yet. Okay, we get one good candle, doesn't confirm. One good candle, doji doesn't count. That does not count as confirmation. One good candle, what are we going to get tomorrow? Okay, maybe 680. I think 680 is a good number, actually. Yeah, look at that. 680 is basically this number as well. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, 680. Okay, cool. I think 675 is going to be confirmation for tomorrow. Now, look, our 100 moving average right here, I'll draw the line. Why not? Let's just draw the line. Somewhere right there. Nope, that's the wrong line. My apologies. Somewhere right there. Cool. This line up here is the 100 moving average that is actually sitting at 731. That was actually the last target I put. Sorry. That was the last target I put for MULN right there, right? But just look at that line, okay? Just like the 50 moving average behind it, this thing has not even been remotely touched. Not even remotely touched. Even right here, you can see we did not touch it with a single wick. We've not even come to the penny on it, right? So the 100 moving average is a difficulty. And as I'm saying the words, yeah, look at it. The 50 moving average was exactly the same, right? So are we going to kind of do the same thing? Or are we going to break it? So, right, like break it, kind of pop up, kind of come down and go. Maybe use the 8. I don't know. Maybe we'll get some good confirmation on it. But right now, we cannot assume that we break that line. You can also see there's a pretty good horizontal, give or take, right there. What is that right there? I just want to see that. Oh, that's exactly on it. Yeah. Okay. No, I like this line. That's a little too high. That's good enough. Okay, cool. Again, you know, my lines aren't for perfect. They are for good enough. So I think these two are the next one, and you see it. If we break this 100 moving average, we're going to 13. That's really what I see. Maybe this 1070 will slow it down, but that would be the expectation, okay? MACD is finally positive. That's a beautiful divergence. I kind of see a divergence starting right there on the RSI. It's probably a little too tight to really call that, but liking the positive there, loving the 64. That's a very healthy number, and volume's just been a little more sporadic than I want it to be, okay? That's not the healthiest, but that's not too bad, right? I actually like, I'm just ignoring these two giant outliers and these, 5 little outliers. If you kind of combine those, maybe it kind of looks something like this, a little bit healthy, right? So maybe this thing is kind of starting to get ready. Maybe this thing is starting to get ready to do the first confirmation. And yeah, if we can confirm the 50 and break the 100, oh, that's when things get interesting. Listen, I think it's going to be a little too aggressive to think higher than this 1290. Again, we talked about 1070, 1060, whatever you want to call it. But clearly, I see the 200 sitting all the way up there. But that's a long ways away, and we've got a couple other numbers there, right? So last thing I do want to say, and it's one of my favorite things to say, right? Red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 whole mess of nothing. Could be a big green, green, green if we can get over that. So let me draw one more line just to kind of give us, I would say that's the better money line. If we can cross into 8, I think we're going to start thinking high 12s, maybe that 10. I think under, and I can see us kind of repeating this N right in here. Maybe we get over, come back, take off. Maybe that happens. Maybe we just smash it because these are pretty good lower indicators right there. I did see some news today. I will be real honest. I didn't understand the news. If you can let me know, that would be amazing. If you can let the team know, that would be amazing. But again, I loved the news from that new car and the MSRP plus the rebate that the customer gets, right? So those are good thoughts. I apologize for not really knowing today's news well. I'm also a little on the tired side, so I think I'm just going to blame that. But hey, if you can please let me know your thoughts, I appreciate you so much. So let's take a look at Marathon today. big day on Marathon, and really an interesting couple days on Bitcoin, right? And I always say, if you're going to look at a ticker, look at the major indices like Nasdaq, S&P 500, Dow Jones, etc. With Marathon, with the anything related to crypto, you got to look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is your super indice, right? That is the ocean that all these little individual 4-letter, 5-letter, 3-letter, whatever they may be, what they're swimming in, right? So I'm opening my phone right now just so that I can see what Bitcoin looks like. Again, I am going to look at Bitcoin soon. I keep saying that. I'm just a little behind on life. If you can let me know what platform you're using to look at Bitcoin, that would help a good amount. I know a couple people have already, but yeah, please and thank you right there. So let's talk about Marathon right now. And a lot of this bounce is twofold, all right? I think it's easy to say, hey, the 200 moving average did the job. The 200 moving average is the last line. It's very hard to break up, and it's just as hard to lose down. I really think it is Bitcoin that dictated this movement. So again, I apologize for not having the chart, but here. So Bitcoin on 5/1, okay, a couple days ago on the daily actually slipped below the 100 moving average and basically did not confirm and made its way back up the next day. It was beautiful. Again, you got to confirm, right? I believe that's a little bit of what happened here, because that is the same May 5th that we lost it. Next day doesn't confirm, and Bitcoin goes from 56 to that 63K that we're at right now, right? So I think that is a little bit more of this V that we see here. Nonetheless, okay, we're at a place where we did do a technical bounce from the bottom to the top, and one of two things is happening. We're either at the mercy of these 5 lines, because look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 5 of these are pretty close to each other. And generally speaking, I call these a tornado, right? You go from the top to the bottom to the top to the bottom to the top, almost at no control or mercy at all, right? So interesting to see this, but again, I think it's a little more Bitcoin push. So I mentioned this in the beginning of the video. Right now, I'm looking for Bitcoin to get over 66,000. If Bitcoin can get over 66,000, that'll put it over the 50 moving average. That should be enough to break these 2 lines and really confirm it, okay? Today's day was very much moving average dictated. When Bitcoin goes up and the moving averages have this nice gap, when we can go from 18 to 20, oh man, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing, right? So very, very much believe it was a good technical setup on a Bitcoin rise right now, okay? The interesting numbers on Bitcoin are going to be 62,600. So if overnight we lose that 62.6 number, I would get a little bit worried on Marathon. If we can crack 66, I think that's going to be big right now. Look, I am really liking the lower indicators, right? I know it's negative, but that's a good divergence. That's an equal divergence, big volume day, right? So that's good, that's good, that's good. Those are 2 hard moving averages, and Bitcoin needs to break for this one to do it, okay? If Bitcoin doesn't break, but it holds, I think we'll see a technical move up to maybe here, 2150. I think Marathon can get to 2150 on its own, but Bitcoin will need to break 66,000 for it to get anywhere near 25, or my current line right now at 30, okay? I could maybe draw another line somewhere right here, maybe somewhere right here. I don't think I want to, okay? It's really about Bitcoin, and like I said, I will be sure to get that chart here and make it happen. This system just doesn't cover it. That's why I'm obviously not doing it here. So I think that's pretty good, actually. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's take a look at Lucid. So I think I'm seeing a little bit of the reaction. All right, this is regular hours. Let me show what post market looks like. We've kind of lost most of today. I'm going to give my thoughts very quickly, and then I'm going to look at my phone to see whatever news I can find. But Two things are jumping to mind, all right? First of all, these are amazing technicals. All right, I love all these candles. We've broken the lines, we've confirmed, we've broken the line. That's an interesting doji, that's a beautiful candle. Any other given day, I would say positive MACD, decent RSI, kind of a high number, but loving the divergence, good volume. Like all of these are great words that I'm saying, right? Earnings will kill sorry, I said that horribly. Earnings will destroy and kill good technicals, or they will completely save the worst of the worst. And no matter how good technicals look, it is always a gamble in my eyes. I'm telling you, it's hard to, I have seen really good news, really good headlines, this, that, and bad earnings reaction. I've seen the dumbest of dumbest earnings with reverse split implications, this and that, and all of a sudden it gaps up and goes green. It's really difficult to tell. This was a nice big 9% day, and seeing that 9% just basically go completely away obviously has me thinking they're not liking the reactions, okay? Two things. Number one, regular hours matters more. Okay, this 10%, 9% drop is definitely loud. It is, right? But the rules, the volumes, this and that, there are so many differences between regular hours and post-market and pre-market that tomorrow, end of the day, is really going to show us what the truth is. But yeah, obviously, this doesn't look good. If bad reaction comes, we are coming back down to 250, 260s where I'm clicking. If this is just a fake out and it's actually really good, we might run up to 370. Generally speaking, I go up to or I come down to, right? That's basically what I did here. So let me use my phone really quickly. Excuse me. Let me just see if there's any major headlines that I see. Again, guidance is probably going to be the most important thing, okay? It looks like they're posting a quarterly beat, which is good. They delivered more vehicles, up 33%. Interesting. There's a lot of really good headlines. Okay, there's a lot of total liquidity. That's a good thing. They've raised private placement. Oh, is that an offering? I don't know. Maybe this is an offering headline if this is what I'm saying. I like offerings. I'll be honest with you. Nothing here talks about share count, talks about float, none of that, right? So to me, offerings aren't that bad as long as it's at a good price for the shareholders, right? So make sure we look at the details if I'm actually reading that headline correctly. Look, there's a lot of things floating around. I am actually seeing more good things than bad things. But again, I always say it. Our simple human opinions, no matter how educated they are, do not matter more than the market reaction. I can't tell you how often I see really good headlines that bring bad candles. Meta and Tesla were real good examples of that. Meta had good numbers, bad candle. Tesla, not the best numbers, great candle, right? So is what it is on big stocks, is what it is on little stocks. So look, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Hey, thank you so much.